first guest tonight starred in the critically acclaimed Tony-winning revival of Merrily We Roll Along. The filmed version of the musical opens in movie theaters nationwide on December 5th. Let's take a look.
Years from now, we'll remember and we'll come back by the rooftop and hang a plaque. This is where we began, being what we can.
Please welcome back to the show Daniel Radcliffe, Jonathan Groff, and Lindsay Mendez, everybody. Welcome back, you three. Welcome back. Now, I was during the run of the show, I was lucky enough to have all three of you here individually, and this is a show about friendship told in reverse order of the friendship. But it's an incredibly, a show about connecting, and you guys always talked about how connected you were as a cast and how you were actually close. So my question is, since it closed, have you actually kept up your friendship?
No.
We've not.
No.
First time you're seeing each other tonight?
Yes, it's been very awkward all day.
The tension backstage was.
Yeah. We've been avoiding each other. No, it's genuinely like, it's so nice doing press with these guys. Like, it makes it so easy. Not that I don't love it. Always, anyway. But just doing it with two people.
Yeah, because what I'm hearing is when it's just you and I, it's a drag.
No.
Okay.
It's been a really fun day, and it has been, it's nice to hang out with these guys again.
So they filmed the last three performances of the run for the purposes of the filmed version that we're going to see. I know they did a special screening for you guys. What was that like to go back and actually do the thing that you never had been able to see before, which is to watch the play?
It was wild. Jonathan was sobbing. It was pretty normal, actually.
Do you start sobbing right away, Jonathan?
Yeah, immediately.
I mean, it's also. It's sort of two levels because you're feeling nostalgic about maybe the best piece of like art about nostalgia. It's an incredibly nostalgic.
Yes.
So it must just be so surreal to watch it.
I think it was great. There were so many things we had missed that we never see because we were on stage doing it. So that was amazing. Dan was, in a ball, not wanting to watch himself, which is also normal.
But that's for everything.
That's for everything.
Yeah.
That genuinely is. I start watching it, and I'm like, oh god, but then I love watch these guys, and like, oh well, that's nice. So it was mixed for me. But yeah, if there could be a cut made of everything I've ever done without me in it, I would love watching it.
Yeah. They say the Potter films are not great without Potter.
I mean, I beg to differ. I think there's a lot of people doing some really good work.
Now, this was famously, among Sondheim musicals, like, it did not work when it opened. It had 16, performances before it closed. So going into this, there was a reason to think this might not work. You all had three very different takes going into it as far as levels of optimism. Is that fair?
I don't know. I would say I was uncharacteristically optimistic.
Oh, so does sound uncharacteristic.
Yeah. I feel like I was like, oh, this is great. Like, this is going to be great. Like, I didn't know that it would be as successful as it was and, like, be the incredible thing that it became in all our lives. But I think I knew that it would be good very quickly.
But I think when like, the tickets sold out in, like, 8 minutes or something, I remember us all getting on the phone and being like, oh, God. They're expecting something. We have to do this right. I mean, we all did feel the weight of that very much, I think, in that moment.
And obviously you have a fair amount of, previews before opening night. So it's not like you, by any way, shape, or form, the first time you're doing it from start to finish the way you did on opening night. But did you have a sense of it on opening night of like, oh, it's to steal from the actual show, it's a hit? Like, did you know?
It definitely felt like people were ready to love the show. It had formed, it came out in the 80s originally, and it had formed this kind of like cult following. And when we did it downtown, when we opened, it was at New York Theater Workshop. That was like 300 seats. And so it was like filled with theater nerds and people that were ready to love Merrily. But then the idea, like when we moved to Broadway, suddenly it was a bigger house. And now the idea that it's a movie and it's gonna be all over the world, Sondheim's like most famous flop, is pretty surreal.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's really great. Now, with Off-Broadway and Broadway,
I feel like Jonathan intended that to be more of like a oh cool moment than an outright laugh. But you know, here we go, what we got.
it also felt like he weirdly was like throwing shade at Sondheim. And it was like, it's just so nice that we finally like fixed it
Made
for
it
him.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that's what came across.
going well.
Obviously, things go wrong over 2 years of performances. Your mic once got caught on Jonathan, or vice versa.
Yes.
Yes.
In a very serious moment where he's in a puddle on the floor and he says, "Hold me, Mary." And I go to hold him, and then he has to get up from me, and he's in front of me. And as he gets up, he's like, and his mic is caught in my button. And we're supposed to be like so intense, and he's like, and I'm trying to get him uncoiled. And then Jonathan is the worst on stage. If something goes wrong, he just looks at you and goes, and you're like, what are you doing, Jonathan? And it's just, and I had to do this huge song, and he's just looking at me, just grinning. I just
Jonathan would be bad in a heist, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible. Jonathan
Yeah.
would be bad almost anywhere, but but like no, it's truly like Jonathan. Like if it was like he's incredible because he can just be like laughing and then just be right into the emotion of a scene. Whereas like if you've made me laugh, I'm screwed.
gone.
Like
Yeah.
I cannot get back there. Yeah.
Yeah, he lives there.
Yeah. There, obviously, Sondheim lyrics famously can be very dense, very fast. You sent a clip of this is you guys working on a song. And again, one of the most, incredible things about watching the show live, which I was lucky enough to do, was just how precise you guys are throughout the show while also having so much emotion behind it. But before we show this clip, tell me what it is what your lines were supposed to be, so our audience can at least try to hear.
So it's
Yeah.
what
You're not serious.
nobody's ready.
Apparently, somebody canceled a booking.
So that's
Okay,
what
so
you're
we're
supposed to hear from
waiting.
him.
We're trying to hear Jonathan say, apparently somebody canceled a booking. Let's give it a listen.
What, you're not serious?
Nobody's ready. First of all,
I want a Tony for that.
You want to Tony for that? We got
Tony.
100 of the world's top linguists, and not one of them heard. Apparently, somebody canceled a book. It is very funny that you just realized, like, you have this like Broadway juice that like forces you to keep going,
Yes.
even though, like, your brain knows you don't know the words, but they're like, it's a show.
Yeah, what you didn't see is the minute after that we had to finish the song and we were dying.
It's
Dying.
really great.
Oh, God.
Sweating.
We're going to be back with more Lindsay, Daniel, and Jonathan after this. Welcome back. We're here with Lindsay Mendez, Daniel Radcliffe, and Jonathan Groff. You had some very dense lyrics as well. I don't want to say there's one song that's harder than the others, but when I listened to the soundtrack, Franklin Shepherd Incorporated is incredible.
Yeah, for me, my hardest song was Franklin Shepherd Inc. And I thankfully, I only screwed it up once on Broadway, once off Broadway, and once on Broadway, and both of them will be the last things I think about before I die.
Is it a situation where you're being hard on yourself and the audience didn't know?
No.
Okay.
The first time, yes, possibly. The on Broadway, there is, if you know the show, you knew how badly it was going for me that day. And a remarkable thing to like look back on and go, oh, it's crazy how much you can sweat just sitting down. Like, I finished that number and I left the stage and this is not an exaggeration. It was like I had done like a multiple mile run.
Yeah, you were so wet.
I was, yeah, it was bad. And I remember I turned around to you as it was going wrong and I grabbed you and I don't think I let go of you for the entire song. Like you were the only thing holding me to the earth. Yeah. And it was bad. It was pity was what he was also feeling for me in that moment. It was.
But his face was this one. You kept going, they know. They notice, they know.
They definitely know.
Lindsay, you had a child was it only 2 months after you closed?
Yes, so
Oh my
in
goodness.
this movie, I'm 7+ months pregnant.
Wow, that's incredible. Your oldest was like basically a baby during the run of the show, but
Yeah.
do you feel like she has any memory of it?
Oh yeah, she still sings all of the songs.
Oh, amazing.
It's Uncle.
And she doesn't
Uncle
screw
John
up
and
like
Uncle
these
Dan.
two, right?
No, she knows
Yeah.
all the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows every lyric.
She's ready to go in.
No, she loves this music so much. I'm so excited for her to see this film. I mean, for both my kids. I mean, that's the best thing about it is that we get to have this forever to show our kids and their kids that this was like this amazing moment that we all got to have together.
It's really fantastic. And you are currently on Broadway right now, Jonathan, Just in Time. Fantastic show. Is it? Is it true? Did you both go to opening night?
Of
Yes.
course.
And how did you enjoy just getting to watch Jonathan on a night where you also didn't have to perform?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great, except
it was
yeah.
less great for me because they put me like down on the stage
We were
with him.
We were too close, all of us.
We were too close.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I got was anger from these two.
Yeah,
they were
us
like, "Why
and-
did you sit us at
We
these
were like,
tables?"
And Leah,
seriously?
I feel
We
like.
were
And Leah,
so
yeah.
close. Like he was. I mean, we've had enough time on stage
Yeah. No,
close to this man performing.
We literally
He expectorates? Is that the Yeah.
Look, me and Lindsay and Leah, Michelle all sat down and were just like looking at each other like, what has he done?
why are we here?
Why has he put us this close to him?
Yeah.
And look, we're not going to talk about the expectoration because we talked about the expectoration a lot on the first time
Yeah,
round.
yeah, yeah.
And we want to say, we're trying to,
We're
we
me
feel
and Cole- we
bad
feel
about how much
bad
we've
about
talked
how
about
much we
Jonathan
talk about
spitting.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of people spit.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a lot of actors that do it.
There are a lot of wet actors.
There's a lot of wet
it's
actors.
not
Yeah.
just Jonathan.
It's not that weird.
Yes.
And he's great.
And we love him,
Yeah.
and he's amazing.
Yes.
You really put it to bed by not talking about it. Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Your family is coming to your show again soon,
Yeah, they're coming for Thanksgiving.
and,
We're doing the parade.
and they'll come to the show. Will they come to see you on Broadway when they're here?
Yeah, they've been a bunch.
And
yeah.
do they bring people when they come?
Yes, my mom, when we did Merrily, brought busloads of people from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
She brought 3 busloads to Merrily.
These are literal buses.
Yes.
They're all-
Literal buses, yeah. They're like full of Mennonites.
I mean, for a Mennonite to get on the bus, it has to be a pretty good show.
Exactly.
Daniel, I want to bring in the story up only to give credit to my producer, Kevin Miller, who had a fantastic joke about your child.
Yes. So last time I came it's very rare that I experience a Harry Potter joke in the wild that makes me truly laugh not because they're bad, just because I've heard all of them and it has to be really good to make me laugh. And the last time I was here, I have a son and I don't say his name on TV or talk about it. And so last time I was here, they were having a production meeting backstage.
Yeah.
You were there. I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah, I said to I was like, tell me how old Daniel's child is, and they were like, like 2 years old, but he never says, they don't say his name publicly, and then my producer, Kevin Miller, said, is it Voldemort?
It's really good.
It's a really good
It's
joke.
a really good joke.
Really good joke. It means a lot. Obviously, you're the audience for it,
No,
and we
it was
know. Yeah.
so good. Very well done. Well done, Kevin.
I only wish there was going to be a sequel to this movie so that I could have you guys back. But just know you don't need a reason. It is just so lovely to see all 3 of you individually, even more special together. You guys, Lindsay Mendez, Daniel Russell, John Hugo, Marilyn Monroe, in theaters nationwide December 5th. We'll be right back with Terry Jones.